Federal agents took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs.
Well, y'all, it looks like the feds are going to need to make a lot more space in their prisons, because Diddy's sons just might be joining him there pretty soon. Word on the streets is that the feds are allegedly investigating Diddy's sons, Christian and Justin, for allegedly threatening witnesses in their dad's ongoing case. Now, y'all know how the prosecution's star witness randomly went missing a couple of days ago and hasn't been heard from since? Well, it looks like the feds believe that Christian and Justin might have had something to do with that, and if things go the way the feds want them to, we might see them bringing witness tampering charges against the boys before their dad's trial is over. Y'all might need to sit down for this, because things are about to be a hot mess. So, Diddy's sons have made it more than clear in the past couple of months that they're their dad's ride or die. They've been showing up to the trial to support him, and they've made sure we know they're standing 10 toes down behind their father. Now, I get it. He's their dad no matter what. They probably have conflicted feelings about all of this. But still, to vocally support their dad after hearing everything he's been accused of, that's wild. Now, I know his daughters, Jessie, Delilah, and Chance, also showed up to support him in court. But, from the sound of things, they were probably forced to do so. And all the fingers are pointing at Justin and Christian. According to reports, the girls were so horrified by what they found out about Diddy during the proceedings that they left the room in tears. Daniel Phillip, a male witness, alleged in a Manhattan court on Monday, May 12th, that he had been paid by Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, to have intercourse with her, while Diddy sat in the corner and watched. Phillip also testified that he witnessed Diddy being violent toward Cassie. Diddy's daughters, recent high school graduate Chance Combs and 18-year-old twins Delilah and Jessie Combs, left the courtroom twice during Phillip's graphic testimony, including accounts of Diddy allegedly touching himself in a corner while watching the encounter. But the boys? They weren't moved by it at all, which has fans wondering, have they become desensitized to the whole thing? And that brings us to the rumors that they might be the reason behind the witness dropping out of the case at the last minute. Honestly, it's not even the first time the boys have been accused of shady behavior regarding their dad's case. Y'all ever heard the saying, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree? Well, it's not just about temper problems. Turns out these sons are out here racking up the same SA accusations as their dad. The drama really runs deep in the family. For example, producer Lil Rod name-dropped Justin in his lawsuit, saying Justin Combs solicits prostitutes and young girls, and that sex workers were made to engage in freak-offs. He also claimed Justin was allegedly involved in Diddy's substance trade. Court documents say, as evidenced by the hundreds of hours of video and audio recordings in plaintiff's possession, defendants Sean Combs, Justin Combs, Christina Carome, his assistants, and staff all orchestrated, participated in, managed, and executed the RICO enterprise by purchasing and distributing substances, soliciting sex encounters from prostitutes, sex workers, and minors, and by forcing artists, creatives, musicians, and producers to work without compensation. That's not just messy, it's criminal. So it's really starting to seem like Justin might be deeper into Diddy's chaos than anybody realized. And for years, there have been quiet rumors claiming he's helped his dad cover up some pretty shady stuff. Now he's giving Daddy's boy a whole new meaning. Take that DUI situation, for instance. Remember when the internet lit him up, calling him just another spoiled celeb kid spiraling out? Well, word in the streets is Diddy was actually the one driving, and Justin allegedly took the hit to protect him. Wild, right? Then you throw in these long-standing whispers about Diddy having certain cops in his pocket, and suddenly, it all starts to make a little too much sense. It also explains why his mom, Misa, went off on Diddy for setting her son up. She said, "I'm not with none of that reality TV-ish. When is enough enough? I'm not protecting no one anymore, just my son and all the children I love." A come-to-Jesus moment. She also said, "Everyone has to sit around for years and act like there isn't anything wrong with you. This is where the buck stops for me. If anything ever happened to my son, God forbid, what is anyone going to say to me, when we all know whose fault it would be?" But y'all, it didn't stop there. According to Lil Rod, Justin was allegedly involved in covering up a shooting where somebody nearly lost their life. Rod says things got heated in the studio one day, and during a blow-up, either Diddy or Justin pulled a gun and fired. A man named G was reportedly shot in the stomach, and Rod included photos in the court documents to drive the point home. So Justin wasn't just allegedly helping his dad recruit young women for those notorious parties. He was also wrapped up in covering some seriously violent incidents. Kind of explains why he was so unmoved during the trial. It's giving generational mess. And since we're on the topic of generational chaos, Christian's been getting dragged lately for how he puts his girlfriend on display all over social media. Folks have been accusing him of objectifying her with the kind of pictures he posts, and honestly, once you see it, it's hard to unsee. But that's not even the worst of it. Christian is also facing an open SA lawsuit. A woman named Grace Marai came forward with some heavy allegations, claiming Christian allegedly tried to SA her while she was working on a luxury yacht Diddy rented for a family vacation. According to Grace, she was hired as a stewardess on the yacht right before New Year 2023, meaning the alleged incident happened in late December 2022, during what was supposed to be a festive getaway. Not the kind of holiday memory anyone signed up for. According to TMZ, Grace claimed she was doing her job when Christian came on board and immediately became fixated on her. She says he made her take a shot of liquor, which she suspected was spiked. Despite that, she was able to push him away and told him to leave her alone. She claims he was trying to kiss and grope her despite her protests. She says Christian later cornered her again in the yacht's theater room, blocked the exit, and attempted to force her to perform a sexual act. Grace says she fought him off and includes in the court documents photos of her bruised forearm from the altercation. Eventually, she says she was able to escape, but has suffered mental and emotional trauma ever since. So yeah, it's not surprising that Justin and Christian would allegedly want to silence witnesses at this point. It's as much about self-preservation as it is about protecting their father. And what's wild is, this isn't even the first time Justin and Christian allegedly tried to gang up on someone. Just last year, they reportedly tried to jump Ray J after he spoke out against Diddy and the disturbing accusations surrounding him. Now, if you're wondering why they came for Ray J specifically, especially when half the internet has been dragging their dad, it's likely because Ray J and Diddy used to be tight. They were always popping up at events together, teaming up on projects, giving off bestie energy. But somewhere along the line, that friendship soured. And it looks like Diddy's legal drama was the final straw. At first, Ray J tried to keep it cute. When news of the federal investigation dropped last April, he wasn't picking sides. He kept his distance. But as more and more lawsuits and accusations started stacking up, Ray J's energy changed. He went from staying quiet to dragging Diddy all over social media, and he didn't hold back. No more sugarcoating, just straight-up shots fired.
Is Diddy all there is? Is this what represents hip-hop? This is what represents hip-hop in its entirety. That's not true. Do you forgive somebody for taking somebody's ass? There's a lot of people out here taking from people. Not only like people are getting robbed of not only their money and their spirituality. They're getting robbed of their womanhood and manhood. Pieces are being taken in ways that nobody can explain. Do you chuckle? Do you laugh? Do you help? Do you criticize? Because I see a lot of jokes out there right now talking about baby oil. Everybody got a joke about having baby oil and lube. Is that okay? Is that the message? Ha 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 ha. That was funny, fam. Now what? I don't use baby oil. Lube sometimes makes it better. Should I come with Ray Y Jelly and do some kind of like skit and say, KY just gave me a deal. Ray Y Jelly, I got 1,000 of them. Ha 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 ha. Ray Y. That funny to you? It's not to me. Because there's a victim out there that has been caught up in something that has affected their lives. And if it has something to do with that, or it has something to do with any other products or any other thing you're hearing about, it's distasteful.
Ray J going from Diddy's friend to his critic really shook things up in Hollywood because loyalty is everything. And when someone like Ray J, who used to be close with Diddy, starts speaking out, especially with Diddy being as powerful as he is, you know it's going to cause some drama. Fast forward to Halloween parties, and by that point, Diddy's sons were already fired up over Ray J's comments. It seemed like they were just waiting for the chance to confront him. The party ended up being the perfect setting for things to go down. The whole thing happened at Tara Electra's Halloween party in LA. Ray J showed up with Amber Rose and his manager, David Weintraub, while Diddy's sons, Quincy, Christian, and Justin, were also there. Everything seemed cool at first, but once it was time to leave, things took a turn. As people were heading out, Diddy's sons decided to make their move on Ray J. They cornered him in the parking lot, and it didn't take long for things to get heated. Witnesses said they were right in Ray J's face, and it looked like it was about to blow up. Hazley, who was also there, said she was actually scared someone might get shot.
Kind of ensued at the end of the party when we were trying to exit the building, actually. I honestly just saw like Christian, Justin, Quincy kind of start circling Ray a little bit. Words were exchanged. Things started getting heated. I don't want it to really like get to this level. So out of nowhere, Chris Brown hops out the car like a freaking leprechaun out of the magically delicious sky. And like, honestly, he started breaking it up. I tried to talk to Quincy, Christian, get their stance on it and let them know this wasn't the time and the place.
And just when it looked like things were about to get physical, Chris Brown stepped in and helped cool things down. Apparently, he was nearby in his car when he saw the commotion in the parking lot. He spotted Ray J surrounded by Diddy's sons and their crew, and he quickly rushed over. His timing was unexpected, but Chris jumped right in, teaming up with Ray J's manager to separate everyone and defuse the situation before it got any worse. Because here's the thing, Diddy's sons don't play when it comes to their dad. And now, with witnesses dropping out of the case and vanishing like flies, it's no surprise the feds are starting to look at Diddy's sons real sideways. In case you missed the tea, it was recently reported that federal prosecutors admitted one of the 4 key witnesses in Diddy's New York federal trial might not show up to testify. And that's a big deal. According to court documents, Victim 3, as she's labeled in the indictment against Diddy, had previously pledged to testify in what could be a landmark criminal trial, a trial that could put Diddy behind bars for the rest of his life if found guilty. Victim 3 was set to give powerful testimony detailing how Diddy allegedly exploited her. She had agreed to come forward publicly, to testify using her real name, which was a major shift considering her identity had been protected until then. But just days after making that decision, she vanished. Reports say law enforcement suspects that Victim 3 may have been threatened, allegedly by Diddy's sons, in an attempt to stop her from testifying. And that raises serious red flags. Even more suspicious, her disappearance happened right after she agreed to testify using her real name. Before that, she had only been known to investigators and prosecutors. Let that sink in. She steps forward and suddenly disappears without a trace. Yeah, something's definitely not adding up. And the feds are now officially suspecting foul play. A few weeks ago, federal prosecutors released a new superseding indictment that underscored just how critical Victim 3's testimony was to the entire case. According to the new documents, at all times relevant to this indictment, the defendant engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. The indictment went on to describe how Diddy allegedly manipulated women into orchestrated sexual performances, sometimes involving male commercial sex workers, under the guise of romantic relationships or career opportunities. He allegedly used narcotics, intimidation, money, career threats, and control over housing and finances to coerce participation. And the most shocking part? Some of the commercial sex acts were elaborate, staged performances that Combs arranged, directed, and even recorded, often referred to as freak-offs. And now, federal sources believe Victim 3 was directly threatened to keep quiet. And if that's true, it could blow the case wide open, or completely stall it. Her disappearance could lead Diddy's legal team to push for a mistrial, or, at the very least, a major delay in the proceedings. The judge is expected to review the situation in an upcoming hearing, and if more witnesses follow suit, the case could fall apart entirely. The rumors are already swirling. More witnesses are allegedly dropping out, possibly after being silenced or threatened. So, here's the real question. Are the feds right? Did Diddy's sons threaten people to protect their father? Or are prosecutors scrambling to save face after their star witness bailed and left them humiliated? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and then check out this next video, because things are only getting crazier.